But the reason I'm starting to get a little bit nervous around Jude Bellingham coming to Liverpool isn't about the player making the decision based on footballing merit or based on what he sees in front of him at Liverpool. It's the upheaval at the club. This video is being sponsored by our friends at Surfshark. Now, you've probably heard people talking about VPN providers a lot, and I'm going to explain to you why it's a plus and why hopefully you should go with our friends at Surfshark. So Surfshark is an app or browser extension that allows you to look at the internet entirely anonymously and unlock the world's largest Netflix libraries, the likes of the USA and Japan. It also keeps you safe and secure from hackers. Let's imagine you're out and about, you're having a cup of coffee, you're in college, you're in the pub, something like that. They use industry-leading measures, uncrackable encryption, and the most secure VPN protocols to keep you safe and secure while you're having a look on the internet. Also, one subscription will run across all of your devices, meaning that there is no need to look elsewhere. One subscription, you got your phone covered, your laptop covered, whatever it is that you need. Surfshark is really easy to install as well. And right now, you can get an amazing 85% off and 3 months additional free by using our link in the description and the code Anfield Agenda at checkout. That is 85% off and 3 months additional free, meaning it works out at less than $2 a month. Now, this offer runs until the end of this year only. So if you're looking for a VPN provider, look no further. Our friends at Surfshark have got you covered. What is up, guys? You are very welcome along to this transfer roundup video here on Anfield Agenda. Yes, it does say the late night agenda below me, and I'm aware that you guys are going to be watching this video probably in the afternoon, but to give me a get out of jail free card, I am recording this at night time, so technically I guess it can count as a late night agenda. Look, I'm going to bring you guys a couple of stories that I've seen today, one of them surrounding Jude Bellingham and one of them surrounding Kudus from Ajax, and actually there's another story in there about Costas Tsimikas as well that I'm going to be going through. So do let me know your thoughts in the comment section, drop a like on the video, and of course please do hit that subscribe button for me. Right, let's start off with the Jude Bellingham story. Well, there's a lot to get through with Jude. You know, we've heard this week from the man himself to say that money won't be the deciding factor in a move to whatever club he moves to. And I've always said to you guys that if FSG or Liverpool Football Club put up the money to buy Jude Bellingham, that I think he will be a Liverpool Football Club player. And a couple of things I'm going to go into in a couple of moments of making me a little bit more uneasy around the whole situation, but to add a bit of positivity to it for a change. You know, I like a little punt every now and again. You know, I like a little bet. So there was an article today that showed that Betfair have Liverpool Football Club as favourites to sign Jude Bellingham. Now look, the bookies don't get everything right, but it is an interesting gauge to look at the situation and see what the markets are thinking. So Betfair have Liverpool at 2-1 to sign Jude Bellingham as the favourites to do so. Second place, according to Betfair, are Manchester City at 5-2. And again, that is entirely understandable. Pep Guardiola, I'm sure, would love to have Jude Bellingham at Manchester City. Erling Haaland is currently there, and we know that Manchester City could afford the deal. Interestingly, though, I would have assumed that Real Madrid would have been right up there and very close to odds with Liverpool and Manchester City for this transfer. But no, Manchester United are the third favourite team at basically 9-2, 4.5-1. So just over double the odds of Liverpool signing Jude Bellingham. And then you go down to Real Madrid, who are the fourth favourites, 6-1. 6-1. Now that is, if you believe that is going to be his destination, 6-1 is a number that would make you jump and put money down. So either the bookies know something that we don't know, because Arsenal are just behind Real Madrid at 8-1. So it looks like at this particular moment in time, it's a two-horse race between Liverpool and Manchester City. Yeah, you've got Manchester United maybe coming up on the outside, and with a takeover there, potentially more stability at the club. I don't know. I think it's too late for them with Jude Bellingham. And in fact, they've already had their chance to sign Jude Bellingham, and he chose to go to Borussia Dortmund, even though the financial package would have been greater at Manchester United. So I'm not entirely ruling out United as a possibility, but the reason I'm starting to get a little bit nervous around Jude Bellingham coming to Liverpool isn't about the player making the decision based on footballing merit or based on what he sees in front of him at Liverpool. It's the upheaval at the club. So one thing we know about Jude and his family and his representatives are that they look into every detail. What will the club do for Jude? How will they bring him to be a Ballon d'Or winner or turn him into the best footballer they can possibly be. Remember, we're dealing with a very driven, focused young man, and he's going to want stability across the board. So for this week, to hear that Liverpool have obviously lost a couple of executives, don't have a club doctor currently, and won't have one most likely to the end of the season, it's not exactly screaming consistency, and it's not exactly screaming that the club is on an even keel and ready to go and there won't be any upheaval with any new owners, or that it won't get a little bit messy. So I am a bit nervous. We've had Mike Gordon, who was FSG's eyes and ears in Liverpool, announce that he's leaving. That he'll be replaced by Billy Hogan. Okay, you can take that at face value and say, okay, that's fair enough, Craig. Add into that, though, Julian Ward, who only stepped into the shoes of Michael Edwards. He's moving on at the end of the season. And Liverpool's head of, I think it's statistical analysis, Ian Graham, I think his name is. Maybe I've got that name wrong off the top of my head, but he's moving on as well. So if we're looking to attract Jude Bellingham, we need to make sure that they're aware and the world are aware that Liverpool Football Club are still very much going in the right direction. So it leads me to believe that one of two things is either happening. Either people are jumping ship because they know a potential sale is coming down the line, or maybe we're a little bit closer to a sale than we believe. As I mentioned to you guys in yesterday's video, Liverpool have been up for sale now for 6 or 7 weeks behind the scenes. The banks have been showing prospective investors and buyers the sale package put together. So maybe we're closer than we thought. And if that's the case, then all of the other stuff starts to make sense a little bit. If it doesn't, it's very un-FSG like, because they are very consistent and very direct and very clear in their pathway. They don't like to rock the boat. They don't like to have bad PR. So all this happening this week has made me a bit more nervy around the Bellingham transfer. I still feel, as do the bookies, that we will be his destination. I just hope that what I said about a takeover being closer is the reason for all this other stuff happening, because if we lose Jude Bellingham, I'm going to be absolutely furious. I'm going to be fuming because I don't see any other alternative to come in and change our midfield other than Jude Bellingham. But look, I want to move on to another transfer topic. Apparently, Liverpool had scouts to look at Mohamed Kudus in action for Ghana against Portugal. Now, obviously, we've got up close and personal to Kudus this season when we played Ajax. And there's talk that Liverpool are hoping to bring him in January. 22 years of age. The report that comes from sportingworldghana.com, so it could be just somebody making stuff up because, you know, it's Liverpool Football Club and this player's at the World Cup, he's doing well with Ajax, but it also goes on to say that AC Milan, Juventus, Borussia Dortmund and Everton have also expressed an interest in signing the 22-year-old. Now look, I don't know too much about the kid. I've seen him play for Ajax a couple of times and that's about it, but I am glad to see that we are still being proactive in sending scouts to watch players at the World Cup, players that we will have been looking at beforehand as well. But I wanted your take on this one. Would you take him at Liverpool Football Club? Is he good enough to step in and be a right now player? Because I'm being honest, I don't know all that much about the guy. So the last story that I have for you today before we finish up as well is a bit of a strange one. So there was an article that suggested that Liverpool were preparing a swap deal to send Kostas Tsimikas over to Juventus and replace him with Adrien Rabiot. That makes absolutely no sense for a whole host of reasons. Firstly, we've waited a very long time to have an able deputy to Andy Robertson, and Kostas Tsimikas is certainly that. And secondly, we could have got that player for free when Juventus got him for free. Everybody knew that Adrien Rabiot was available. United looked at him at one point. I think his agent, who, if I'm not mistaken, is his mother, made that very questionable wage demands. I'm trying to work off memory here, but I think it was a huge wage demand. And he went to Juventus. So why would Liverpool suddenly want a guy that they could have had for free and then be willing to sacrifice a left back who we've worked a long time to wait to get a good deputy to Rabiot? None of that makes any sense to me. So I'm putting that one firmly on Bullshit Island, and I want to know what you guys think about it. So just to recap, a little bit worried about the Jude Bellingham situation because what's gone on behind the scenes. A little bit happier because the bookies have Liverpool as favourites to sign him. And then, of course, we mentioned Mohamed Kudus and that nonsense deal that's doing the rounds about Costa Simicas being swapped for Adrian Rabiot. Let me know your thoughts on everything I've spoken about. Of course, do drop a like on the video and hit that subscribe button for me. Looking forward to catching up with you guys again soon. Thank you for your time. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.